Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And today, if you have been following along, is the very last day in the Magic book by Rhonda Byrne. So I am going to do an entire video, either tomorrow or Tuesday, I haven't decided yet, dedicated to that book and what I learned from it, which is a lot, and just sharing some things from my experiences of doing that book. So I thought I would just dedicate an entire video to that and talking about gratitude and the importance of gratitude and things like that. So I'm not going to talk any more about that today. I'm going to read from the meditation books today. Let's see, which one do I feel like? Let's read from the daily book of positive quotations first. It is December 6th. Oh, I forgot my reading glasses. Well, that's okay. I'll just hold it out. December 6th. That's right. Shake it out, Tucker. First attempts. It doesn't matter how many say it cannot be done or how many people have tried it before. It's important to realize that whatever you're doing, it's your first attempt at it. Wally Amos. People offer to share their experiences with us, and this can be helpful. But sometimes other people's experiences can hold us back from trying things that we might otherwise succeed at. No, people tell us, don't even try. This thing can't be done. These people know they've tried themselves, or they think they know, even when they haven't tried themselves. But maybe we will do this thing differently, just differently enough to succeed. Or maybe we'll make mistakes that no one else has ever made before, and these mistakes will show us or others how to succeed. In any case, we'll give ourselves credit for trying. I get to try things on my own, even if others have failed or tried to discourage me. Interesting meditation. I feel like this has kind of been one of my greatest lessons in life. You know, anything that I have wanted to do, from staying sober to writing a book to being on YouTube or whatever, I've had people that I wouldn't necessarily say they discouraged me, but they were realists that would say, oh, but you don't know anything about editing videos on YouTube. So I just decided not to edit videos, you know, and over time that kind of just became how I did things. And, you know, I still get to this day people that are like, if you edited your videos, you would get people that were more interested in it. And that might be true, but I kind of enjoy just sitting down and editing the beginning and the end off and just sitting here and talking to you guys. Like, I enjoy that, right? And I think that there's many of you out there that enjoy it too, that have stuck around for a while. You know, with writing a book, it was similar to that. And, you know, I had a lot of people in early sobriety, you know, people that were sober as well, that were like, you know, this is going to be the one that's not going to make it and whatever. In fact, talking to my counselor later, she was like, you know, it's never the ones that we think are going to make it that make it. She was like, I never would have in a million years guessed that you would be, you know, one of the sober people that stayed sober for a long time. She's like, you just didn't seem serious about it. So, you know, that's why I always say to people, don't give up. You know, I'm 25 years and 11 months sober, and I'm coming up on my, if I should make it there, my 26th birthday on December 17th. I was talking about that on my vlog today. So, you know, you never know if you're going to be the one that does something a little bit different, like it says in the meditation, and I agree with that. And I kind of feel like everything that I've wanted to do in my life, or everything that I've tried, from creative endeavors to just anything with life, like I've always done it a little bit different and had people kind of side-eye me, like, why are you doing it that way and whatever. I've never done things, I've never dressed the same way, I've never thought about things the same as other people and listened to the same music or whatever, and I think that that's what makes us each individuals. You know, when I was in high school, my friends and I were very stuck on this word, being an individual. We would be like, oh, we're individuals. You know, I don't even know what that word means today, like looking back on it. I guess it means that we were self-thinkers, you know? But I think that anything that you do in life, to put your own personal spin to it and do the way that you want to do it, you know, I think is really, really important. You can't do things the same that everybody else does. And in fact, I have met people that I think copy exactly what other people are doing, and they end up not having the same results, and so it's frustrating to them because they're like, well, I did what this person did, but it didn't turn out the same way, you know? Now, I will say this. I think it's important to ask for advice from mentors. You know, like, I can remember when my brother-in-law, when he was getting ready to go to college, he was like, at that time, this isn't what he ended up doing, But he was a skater, and he wanted to do, the dog is in the backyard right now, our neighbor's dog, and so Tucker is walking circles right now, going crazy. So anyway, he wanted to be an engineer for skate parks, and I said to him, I said, you should reach out to other people that have done that and ask them what they did, you know? But then put your own personal spin to it. You don't do it the same way. It's like, we don't want carbon copies of everything. I mean, the reason why some people's music is listened to more than others, right, is not because they play the same chords that everybody else does, right? When you hear a cover of a song, if somebody really takes it and makes it their own, is doing something different with it than somebody else has done before. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it's doing something that makes them happy and doing that same song, you know? I think it's important to look to the people that have come before us and ask them what they did, and maybe they can make that road easier for us, but not copying exactly what they do, just using that as some life suggestions, you know? I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday that has wanted to start a YouTube channel and has kind of like slowly got into it. And I was talking to him on the phone, and he was like, well, this is what I'm doing, and it was an area of YouTube that I have no intelligence about whatsoever. It was gaming, and which is interesting to me because what I know from him is, like, if he had said to me, like, guess what my YouTube channel is, I never in a million years would have guessed that his YouTube channel was about gaming, you know what I mean? I had to stop the camera because my neighbor is walking in the backyard, and Tucker was going crazy. Anyway, I was saying to my friend, I said, you know, like, well, what's your channel about? And he was kind of telling me a little bit. And I said, you know, like, it's interesting, like, if you had told me that you wanted to start a YouTube channel, like, this is not what I would have guessed that you were going to start your YouTube channel with. And he's like, well, it's not really what I wanted to do. He was like, I just wanted to be on YouTube, and I don't really know what to do on YouTube. He was like, so I just started this because I'm a gamer and whatever. And I'm like, but is that what you're passionate about making videos about? And he was like, no, not really. And I go, then why are you doing it? Like, do something that's going to make you happy. Do something that's going to make you have fun while you're doing it, right? Like, and I said, the thing is I said, there are millions of gamers on YouTube out there. I mean, like, that's a really, it's like beauty influencers, you know? It's like, that's a really hard area to step into. I wouldn't tell anybody not to do it. But if you're going to do it, how are you going to put your own personal spin on it? And so it was funny because we started talking about some other possibilities for what he could do on his channel. And he was like, well, what do you see me doing? And I'm like, well, I don't really, I mean, I want you to do what you want to do on your channel. I don't want to tell you what I think you should do. And he was like, no, like, if you imagined me, you know, doing YouTube videos, what would you imagine me doing? And I started telling him, and he was like, oh my God, I never thought of that before, and blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, well, this is just because this is what I see of you, you know, like, and he's very naturally humorous. And so I was like, you know, I could see you doing this and I could see you doing that. And he's like, that's what I really wanted to do from the very beginning. He was like, but I just didn't think that there was any kind of genre for it, you know? And I think that's where you have to, A, go into things because you love them and because you're passionate about it, you know, unless it's a job that you have to pay your bills. And B, go into it with, like, your own personal flair. Do it the way that you want to do it. And don't let somebody tell you that what you're doing is wrong, that what you're doing isn't right, you know? And I think that that's really, really important. I'm like, even talking about the gaming with him, I'm like, if you want to do gaming, I think that's completely fine. But like, but what does your, like, how are you putting yourself into that other than just doing what you've seen 50 other people do? You know what I mean? And I think that that's important. And I think sometimes we're scared of being ourselves in this world because we're afraid of, like, the backlash that we're going to receive or what people are going to tell us or that people won't like us. And see, if we follow the beat of our own drum and people don't like that, then people don't like us is what we hear. Well, that's not true. And there are going to be some people that are going to like you. And I think that, you know, when I first got on YouTube, I wasn't super comfortable sitting on this camera. But, like, the more I allowed myself to just be comfortable sitting here and just talking to you guys like I would talk to anybody else, the more people seemed to like that. The more people were like, you know, like, I relate to this, blah, blah, blah. And the more I was just myself on camera. You know what I mean? So I think that people really enjoy that. They really relate to that. But you have to, you know, allow yourself to be who you are. And I'm not talking about on YouTube, but just in every day and everything that you do, you know? Be an individual, you know? Like, borrow what I used to say in high school. Be an individual. Like, and what that really means is that if you're an individual, individual, you do what makes you happy inside, you know? You wear the clothes that make you happy. You have the hairstyle that makes you happy. You listen to the music that makes you happy. You watch the shows, and you don't, like, if it's, let's just say if everything that you watch is mainstream, you know, television and pop music is what you listen to, and you like to wear a Patagonia coat and Ugg boots and jeans, like, okay, that's very mainstream. But if that's what you enjoy, be that, and don't make excuses for it, you know, be yourself. So anyway, that's a great meditation. All right, let's get into, let's read from Melody Beatty, Journey to the Heart today. I feel like I read yesterday. I read today's already yesterday, but did I? No, I must not have. Hold on. Because yesterday was Life Can Be Fun. December 6th, Discover True Power. Much of our journey involves learning about power. We learn about the powers we don't have, the power to control others, sometimes ourselves and fate. We discover our true power, the power to take an endless journey into freedom and love. Page turn. We talk about experience and experiment with many kinds of power along the way. The power of authority, the power of money, the power of prestige, the power of control, the power of rage, anger, intimidation. We see many kinds of negative powers: manipulation, deceit, fraud. We see people try to steal power from others. We see people letting others take their power away, crawling into shells, hiding, and being dragged along by others. We see that many forms of power are illusions. Money goes just so far. Prestige is fleeting. Popularity holds no immunity from life's experiences. Control is only momentary. We turn our backs, and the situation reverts. We trudge the road searching for power, learning about our own. Somewhere on the journey, we begin to see the truth. It awakens quietly within us, shaking our soul, transforming our vision, teaching us what we knew all along. That power that lasts, the power that stays, is the power of the heart. Stillness, faith, gentleness, kindness, compassion, joy, forgiveness, comfort, vulnerability, honesty, courage, and love. Now we're talking about power. Interesting meditation. I don't really know what is the power of the heart, so to speak. You know, this fight for power is an interesting concept. These are kind of, honestly, like these two meditations kind of go along in all actuality. This whole idea of being true to oneself, you know, and not really, I think, mirroring who we should be or acting in a way that others think that we should. There was much of my life that I wanted to be the best at, and there's nothing wrong with this, okay? But I wanted to be the best at, or the best of this, or at the top of my game, you know, and that's power, right? Or I wanted for people to respect me on this, or I wanted to be right. Like, I think the need to be right, that power, you know, is like really, it's within all of us. And we fight this, you know, I think on a regular basis, a lot of us. This need for power and control in situations. And if you're an addict or an alcoholic, what you know is that we don't have a lot of power and control. We're not good at power and control. And I don't have a lot of control over other people and their actions anyway, you know? So I have to be honest with myself about that and take care of myself. In the last 2 to 3 years, since I have really taken a concerted effort on focusing on myself and growing within myself, one of the things I've realized is the need to have power over situations or to have control in a situation or be right or whatever. It's fleeting and it doesn't matter. Like the word fleeting in here was so powerful when I talked about prestige. It doesn't matter. Who cares, right? It really doesn't matter. And you know, like all of my sobriety for the 25 years and 11 months, I've had my sponsors tell me, you know, like, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? And whenever I say that in a video, there's always that one or two people that say, well, it is important to be right in certain situations. And I totally understand that, okay? And I'm not talking about, there's a difference between people acknowledging what you've gone through, okay, in your life, or the travesties that you've had in your life. There's a difference between people acknowledging that versus being right because, you know, like, have you ever, like, been having a conversation with somebody? This just happened not too long ago with me. I was, like, sitting there talking to somebody, and all of a sudden I said something, and they started looking it up on the phone, and I thought, if I'm wrong, I'll admit to it, you know, like, that's not the problem. But that drive to be right, where you're like explaining something to somebody and you think you're right, and you know, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, no, that's not true. And then it becomes this fight about who cares, right? Like, life is way too short. I don't fight with people about that stuff anymore. And if I start engaging in it, I try to get out of it real quick. Because I mean, it's not like I'm a perfect specimen, you know, I do from time to time like start falling down that road again. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to, hey, listen, if you need to be right, you know what I mean? And, but I did for a long time, you know, I'd be like, no, I'm right. I know what I'm talking about, you know, and I still, from time to time, I get engaged in that, you know, but it's like I said, but I have this toolbox today of these tools and these skills that I can use, you know. When I'm in a situation where it's just like too much, I can walk away, I can disengage, or I can take care of myself for a couple minutes, I can reach out to one of my, you know, people that I care about, but I don't have this ultimate need to always be right today. I'm right, and you're wrong, you know, and I've gotten in situations in the past with people where it's like friendships were almost lost over that crap. Who cares? Who cares, you know? So anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. I want to know, did you keep up with the magic book? Well, you can always go back and start it over again if you want to. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will be back tomorrow with another video, and I will either do my wrap up of the magic book tomorrow or Tuesday. And I love you guys, and I'll see you then. Bye.